Today we are going to do a short video on how to import KML files into SpotOn Response and how they can be used to help you give you better situational awareness in certain events. We'll start by opening SpotOn Response, and as you can see, our layout is here. You can see me up there in that little location. We're going to move from there, and we're going to show you where the railroad track is. There it is right there, and the wreck is going to happen just right back here along 565 in about this little point right here. At this point we're going to pull up Marplot. Marplot is a predictive mapping software that we are provided as first responders to help us predict hazardous chemical events. As you can see, here's the point where the event happened. Here are some of the areas where we're concerned about. Here is the data that helped us build this map. The chemical data, the atmospheric data, and then the source strength where it come from the train car. That data was put together, and you can see the hot zone, the warm zone, and the cool zone out here in this map as it relates to the area and all of the areas that are going to be affected by this spill. We'll now look at this in Google Earth. As you can see in Google Earth, we exported the file as a KML, brought it into Google Earth, and again we can see all of the zones that we were talking about, hot, warm, cool, and the effect zones. And you can also see the daycare centers in the area that will be affected by this spill. And I can come in and I can click on the threat data in Google Earth, and it will bring up the information that was carried over from Marplot and Aloha to help us build this predictive model. After looking at it in Google Earth, we are now going to save it out as a KMZ file, and then on my computer down into my projects file and into the appropriate directories where we're at. We'll save it, and remember what we're going to do is when we save this out, the file name is going to be as it is, but with no spaces. The file has now been saved out, and we are now ready to import it into SpotOn Response. In SpotOn Response, we are now going to create, and we are going to look at what it is going to be a Hazmat event right up here, and we are going to name it chemical spill or chlorine, as the case may be. Our description is going to be a train derailment. Give the address. The status is going to be ongoing. Sorry about that. And the reason is it's going to be a hazmat event. We're going to come down here, get rid of this address right here, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go from our data file that we collected with Aloha, and I am going to go back into the map from Marplot, and at the top of the map we have the lat longs for this event. So what we'll do is we'll copy the latitude, and then we'll shift back over and we'll paste that into the latitude, and we'll go back over, copy the longitude, and we will paste that in to the longitude as well. Then we'll go down, and on the infrastructure, we're not going to share that today. We want that to be private. And then we will do a save and update. The save and update is going to allow us to save what we've done plus add an updated addition. And this is going to be a GIS file. We're going to call it Hazmat. Again, we're going to call it a chlorine spill. Spell it right here, though. The status is going to be ongoing. Need is hazmat response. And then we will come down here and we will now use the IOI's location, those same coordinates, and import the file. We're going to go through the file structure, come back down again to where I have this file saved off in my SpotOn directory, and we will go into KML directory and then our video, and there is our KMZ file. We will load that and then submit that file and go back. Now, as you can see, we've generated an event. This is a chlorine spill. We'll zoom in on it here, and there we are in northern Alabama, and here's all the data on that spill that we have entered, also the date and who put that data in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our filters, and we're going to filter our layers. There's a lot of stuff we want to see, but we don't really need to see some, so we will go back into layers here and edit our filters, and we're going to have our chlorine spill, we're going to have a hazmat event, and we're going to have child care. And all of these events are going to now be added to our map. Now, sorry about that. I'm going to pull up a few more here, just so that everything's visible. And now, there they are. We have our daycare, and we have, as we scroll down, there's our chemical spill. Now, what we want to do is we're going to go back up into layers and go to the GIS layers, and we are going to select what we want to see. So we're going to turn on our hazmat spill there, and we're going to turn on, as you can see, there it is. There are all of the points, and look at this. As you click on it, there's the same data. It imported the data over from Marplot, so we can read that. Let's go back in. We're going to turn on one more layer, and that is going to be our daycare centers. And now that our daycare centers are turned on, we can now see in SpotOn response which daycare center is actually affected by this spill. So this is a relatively simple and painless way to be able to bring this data in from multiple sources, from KML files, and to bring in real-world data to help you with an event.